There we go. Oh, that feels like a big one. There we go. There's one in there. Ready? Yep. So we are back from Florida, and I have to figure out what our next game plan is for this river trip. We finally got an ice melt on the lakes, and I went out, targeted some open water, caught a fish. Wasn't super great, but fishing ice out is difficult. But on the river never freezes. We have to figure out how to get this rigged and put on the shoalie. So one of the big upgrades I'm doing to my NK300 is I'm installing a metal steering bracket for it. And the reason why that's important is I have broken the steering triangle multiple times. So we're gonna upgrade this. We're gonna kind of figure out a game plan on what we're gonna take to the river tomorrow. I'm thinking, since it's been a little bit high, I'm thinking like a crankbait, a jerkbait, a jig, and finesse, something in that realm. So we're gonna sit here, we're gonna game plan, we're gonna hit the garage, figure out what we're gonna take, and then we're gonna hit the river because I'm excited. I wanna catch a big smallmouth. This time last year I caught my PB, very similar conditions. So hopefully we can have a repeat of that because that would be awesome. All right, so we're out in the garage and we're going to get the CK2 ready to do this trip because instead of taking the shoalie, which I've got up there, you know, typically that's what we've been fishing out of on the river. We're gonna take the CK2 just to mix it up. I think I'm actually going to toss the graph on it too because I'm kind of curious what these fish are doing with this water being high from all this melt. So we're gonna get this ready, get it in the truck. I'm gonna talk a little bit about a few things on the truck and then we're gonna launch. We're gonna keep it pretty simple today. I've just grabbed a couple random things. I'm just gonna fill up an empty box with, you know, we're gonna do a wiggle wart type thing, have a couple backup crankbaits. I'm gonna bring a couple jerk baits, jigs, some finesse. Just threw some loose stuff in there. I'll probably take these with me too, but it's kind of a pretty straightforward day. Not really going to deviate too much from what we've done the last couple times on the river, but with the water being warmer now, I think we can get away with some shallower jerkbaits. So unfortunately, most of my stuff is still in transit from Florida because it was being brought back by somebody else. So I just kind of have to work with what I've got. All right, so we have made it to the takeout. I survived with the CK2 sticking out way out of the kayak because we made some changes, which will be in a separate video. But it is chilly. It's supposed to be up to like 68 today though, so we're going to hopefully catch some fish. I think the smallmouth should be moving, but we're taking the CK2 just to sort of mix it up, and we're gonna see if we can break that PB because a year ago today we broke our PB smallmouth. All right, check out the fully loaded down CK2, ready to launch, live scope and everything. Way overkill, but yet another dicey pudding.
Could work for 2 trips, 20 trips, or 100 trips. It bounced up.
There we go. I got a fish. Yeah. It's a largemouth. Little guy. Oh, it's a spot. That makes more sense. My homie's getting covered in mud because my kayak is covered in mud. I'm gonna rinse him off. Look at that. This is like my second cast and we catch a spot covered in mud because we had to get out and repair the motor, but not a bad start. At least I'm not getting skunked. Is that a fish? It is a fish. It's a smallmouth. No, it's a sucker. Look at that. Well, how often do you see that? Oh, I guess sucker of some design. Doesn't that look like a mag draft? That's why they eat these mag drafts. Get him back in. Definitely not what we were looking for. That was kind of wild. Dude, this water is like the perfect temperature for a giant. 45. Sneaking through. This water is moving today. Starting to warm up. Maybe the bite will pick up once we get to the good spot. No more motor problems. Oh man, I came in a little too hot there. This rock looks juicy. Oh, there we go. Got one. I don't know if he's very big though. Kind of dogging me here. Yeah. I don't think he's very big. I'm gonna grab my net just in case. Of course I got my net in the worst spot. No, it's not working out. I almost lost him. He's like only hooked on the edge. There we go, another spot. Dude, this spot is loaded. Oh, there's another one. I bet you it's another spotted bass. Oh, no, 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 it's a smallmouth. It's a smallmouth. Finally. I might actually net him. I don't want to lose him. We haven't caught a smallie yet. Nice. Finally. Here we go, first smallmouth of the day on the TRD tube. Picking up where we left off. We love that tube. Maybe like a 14, but...
There we go.
Seems to be all we can catch today is these Kentucky spotted bass. It's a healthy one though. Definitely can't complain about the bite. Now if we could find a bigger one that'd be nice, but we've only caught one smallmouth so far. Water is warming up though. We're at 47 degrees. There's a fish. That is not a fish. What is that? There we go. That's a big fish. You jinxed yourself there. He's not super, yeah, it's a smallmouth. He's not super long, he's just fat. That's a solid fish, dude. It's not a very long one, it's just a chunky one. I kind of want to measure him just to see. Jerkbait pays off again. We're looking at 15 and a half. So first solid smallmouth of the trip. There we go. So after some audio issues, solid 15 and a half thick smallmouth on the jerkbait. So hopefully we can salvage some of that audio because that's disappointing. We've caught a lot of fish. That's the first like a really good one. They're both Omega. You like that one?
Yeah, I'll rock it. That's fine.
That's a big one, but I mean...
What is it, 3/4 or a half?
It's a half.
Oh my God.
You know, we're at that point in the year where it's late winter, feels like spring, and the fish are just doing whatever they want. There's no rhyme or reason. Some are in these spring holes, some are in the winter holes. Just one of those things that you have to figure out. Unfortunately, we haven't found the big ones, but we have found the numbers. So, quality-wise, though, like there are some bits of quality fish mixed in, but I'd like to catch one over 20. That's the goal today. I know it's a steep goal. I'm actually going to take this, I'm gonna drop this tube in there. What are these fish?
A bunch of fish stacked there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a bunch of gar usually pile in right in that spot every year. I don't know if that's what you're throwing at, but...
Yeah, I'd be curious to know. Feels like a pretty big one. It's hard to tell though. Oh, it's a largemouth. It's a solid one. Oh, don't go back there, dude. That's a solid largemouth. That what? Those are bass then.
Some of them are.
Yeah. That's not a bad one. Oh man, dude's got some gnarly looking fungus on him. Got one? Nice. That's our second double up of the day. Let's see how long this dude is. 16 and a half. Solid largemouth. Let's see if I can pull him off the bottom with this tube. That's a fish. There we go. I saw him on live scope. That's a spot. Saw him on live scope. Man, he is a pale dude. This is the first live scope fish of the day, believe it or not. There's a bunch right here. How long is it? 20? Here, measure him.
And oops, 20 and a half.
I don't have a scale.
I don't need it. I don't care what it weighs. Here you go.
Probably like 4.
It ain't 5 yet, but it's dang close. All right, you ready? They get. Thanks for letting me borrow that spinnerbait, homie.
Yeah, maybe I'll put mine on. I guess I'll take the crankbait off. Maybe it's a spinnerbait day. There we go. Oh, that feels like a big one. It's a smallmouth. First cast with the spinnerbait. Another smallmouth. There we go. Dude, we are smoking them on the spinnerbait. Out of nowhere. That is a chunky spot. Look at that. The Omega Custom Tackle spinnerbait. Just the old-fashioned spotted bass. So that's like 4 casts with the spinnerbait, 2 fish. Here we go. That's a good fish. Of course, the wind is picking up right as I... That is not a good fish. Why was he fighting so hard? I knew he didn't feel like he had any weight on him. Dude, that's a dink. Why do you feel so big? He like changed size? Another fish? Dude, it's just like every cast. She may be rusty and old, but she still catches them. All right, well, this is gonna be sneaky.
See that?
So it's wherever my hand is. Don't let go of that.
It can be done, but it's close.
Yeah, and it's also sags a little bit, so it's like... Rock guard.
What do we got?
Well, that's the Portage. We made it through. Or as the French would say, le Portage. Yeah, I don't know. Been a weird day. Caught some fish though. Hopefully we catch some more. Maybe right there though. Where that stall is. There we go. There is one in there. I wasn't even reeling, I was trolling it. Another fat spot. Shock. Dude, it's just been a spotted bass day. No trespassing. So I'm walking back to the truck, but I figured this would be a great time to kind of recap things. It was a weird day. Like, these sorts of days are what this late winter period can be. Sometimes it can be really good numbers wise. Like, we got a lot of numbers. Obviously, one big fish was caught, but there's times where it just feels like you found the nursery. And that's what it was today. Just a lot of spotted bass for me. A couple decent smallmouth and one decent largemouth, but definitely not what we were expecting.
Ready?
Yep. So it's hard to deny that that was a fantastic numbers day on the river. Considering that we had ice on most of our water like less than 5 days ago, I'll take it. Now you might have noticed that the water hit 50 degrees during that, which is crazy because we started at like 44, but we've had a huge warming trend here. And this is what I like to call the false spring. And you catch a lot of bass sometimes in these false springs because there's a trick to this. Oftentimes those bass haven't moved out of their wintering holes. So you're targeting fish that are still really bunched up. That's why when we switched to the spinnerbait, we just started nailing them. I think I caught 3 fish in my first like 10 casts on the spinnerbait. I caught them on everything though. I caught some more on the TRD tubes. I caught one on a jig. Obviously we caught some on the jerkbait, but overall a fantastic day fishing what I like to call the false spring. We get that warming trend and then days later it gets cold again. Super fun day though. You know, my buddy caught that big one. I didn't catch any giants, but I did catch a lot of numbers, tons of spotted bass. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time on the water in just a few days. So stay tuned. I think it feels good. Where'd that one?